We'll call to order our February 12th, 2026 PROST meeting at 6 o'clock. And we'll start with roll call. John Evans,
Jesse Roper,
Laurelyn Bachelman, Sarah Brown,
Kristen Hammond.
Billy Cooksey. And our absences at the moment are Joe Burke and Robert Sussman. Hopefully Robert will get in here. But I do think that, being that we are on our new bylaws, we start tracking absences. Since we did make that a point to putting that in our bylaws. Since it does go calendar year, this would be the beginning, so. Everybody's okay and comfortable with that being in our minutes?
yeah, absolutely.
Do we have any public comment?
No online participants. Let me just double check. I should have control here, but I just check.
And I would like to make an amendment to the agenda under action item 5B. It was stated that Emma Stanley and Elle McNamara were going to be here, and replace that with Chris Pamela.
Woohoo.
Did everybody get a chance to look at your January minutes? Any edits, changes, objections? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the January 14, 2026 post meeting or work session.
I move to approve minutes from the January 14th meeting.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Action item 5B. Event coordination, recreation.
Alrighty, so we've kind of put together all of our events for the calendar year. Just kind of what we're going to do at them, as well as we have heard that people are wanting to volunteer. So we've gone ahead and put volunteer numbers to that. So this is a sign-up sheet that I can pass around. And the number of spots we have are pretty much kind of what we were asking for. The ones that we're asking for, we would like to be able to see everybody. I'm sure we kind of want to see these events would be Night Beyond Limits, July 4th, because it's one of the biggest events, obviously. And then as several of y'all came last year, but the Pirate Party, that's also going to be a movie again this year. That's a bigger event. So we're asking if we, whatever help we could get. So these are here. If y'all would like to sign up, we would love that. But most of these events are, the majority of them actually are a movie series, so to speak. We turned our movies in the park to the third Saturday of every month. And we're starting that out with May with Kids to Parks Day. So that'll be the first movie, and then that'll be every third Saturday of the month all the way up till September with the Pirate Party. So we'll have a movie, all of those. Where the plan is to rotate parks, as you'll see, there's the different parks. So we'll be at like Wellville for Arbor Day, Wellington Community Park obviously is going to get a couple more. They actually get 3 hits because that's where we want to do Kids to Parks Day. July 4th is always there, as we know, and then going to go back there again in August. We're trying to hit the parks that we know that we bring the people in. It only kind of makes sense to us and for our staff to come out there. So we might as well bring where we can get the people the most. So, but still, we are going to go to Winnick again for the movie, for Pirate Party movie. Only makes sense for that one with it being Pirate Park. So, and then Park Meadows and Viewpoint will also get a movie as well. So both sides of the interstate. So we've got that going. But other than that, we're going to do our best to rotate our inflatables and our yard games and that kind of thing. So here's this sheet for that, like I said, sign up sheet for that. And then the other piece that I know you guys asked us to work on last year was a scavenger hunt. So we've got that ready to go. We've changed it up a little bit. And so Reki, our Reki raccoon, as y'all have probably heard the little Reki's class that we did. So we had come up with Reki the raccoon. So Reki the raccoon is going to be hidden at all of the 6 movies. So we'll be doing social media posts throughout the week or two ahead of time. We plan on going and taking fun pictures with staff, and little Recky is going to be laminated, because that's who will be hidden. And then on the back of him will be, bring this to the staff and or the office that next Monday, and we are going to give a $20 credit on the Smart Rec accounts to go towards any type of program that we offer. So that's going to be their prize. So April through September. So it actually starts, we're actually starting it at Arbor Day, excuse me. Not the first movie, we're starting it with Arbor Day. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so that's ready to go and we're excited. So
It'll be fun.
any questions or thoughts or?
All sounds great.
Yeah.
So in the bigger events too, we do plan to try and, I'm gonna work with some food trucks. We like to use the FOCO food truck rally. There's a sheet you can fill out and it just goes, I do first come, first serve when it comes to the food trucks. Whoever emails back, and as long as I don't have too many of, if we're having multiple, I only want like really one food and one dessert style, so. That's the plan.
Awesome. That's awesome. You guys are crushing it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they've been working really hard on all of this. Just to get that rec guide done and out and all the event planning ahead of time. It's just been pretty phenomenal that they're kind of going through all this early in the year and setting us up. So we kind of have a really strong foundation for, I think this stuff will be ready for 2027 and like November of next year. So
Emma was already working the other day on trying to find a new layout for the 27 guys.
they're all over it. And I mean, I wish that Emma and Elle could be here, but the balance that we have on our team right now, everybody kind of has their own specialty, and the office is lively, but they get work done like throughout the day, and they're always in at crazy hours. Any one of them's working till 10 o'clock at night with either adult volleyball or checking in on our staff at youth volleyball, and then once we hit the spring season, they're all stretched out. So we in the rec department, mostly them, have Sundays off typically, but that isn't a guarantee. So, and I'll say that about the parks crew too. Like they've been fantastic as well. It's kind of hard for them to get as recognized unless you're out in the parks. Like this kind of comes to you and you get it on social media. It's a little easier to consume and there's actual digestible information in front of you. But just want to give a shout out to everybody. Specifically give them some love before the madness starts and the grass grows and the kids are running around on the grass. And, our programs have been just ever growing, only thanks to the staff. So let me put in one more plug. This year we had a few hundred more registrations than we did the year before. That number is pretty cool. It's like, 2,000, I think it was like 2,413 or 18 total registrations, like people that registered. But that only accounts for like certain registrations. The total hit point on every person that was at an activity. So this could be like someone signing up for soccer or for flag football. They signed up for that event, but there's 6 games, right? Or 8 games, depending on the season. So the total of all of that through our programs was like a little over 13,200 people at our events that are registrationable, if that's even a word. So that doesn't count movies in the park. That doesn't count 4th of July. That doesn't count kids to park, all that kind of stuff that we provide on the side, Arbor Day. So like just those numbers of people that registered, so it's pretty cool.
They're being counted once, like that's 13,000.
One time. So if you look at the 2,000 registrations, that could be, let's just take Zumba you can buy a pass for Zumba for an entire month, and that would count as one registration because that's how you signed up.
Yeah.
But you went to 4 different classes in that month. So that would count as 4 times that a person was at one of our events. So that doesn't count practices for kids or anything like that. So it's just at the activity that one of our staff is at that place in time.
And we're also working towards trying to get better numbers. For instance, Night Beyond Limits is already on ActiveNet, or excuse me, not ActiveNet, Smart Rec. So you can go ahead and sign up for it now, but we're also working with that. it's a quicker sign up form. So we're hoping to have like an iPad or different things, and people will sign up either ahead of time or at the events for the movies and different things as well. So we'll be putting all of those on Smart Rec so people can sign up, so we can
Yeah.
try and have a little bit better numbers, but we know people are just going to still walk in. But
Yeah, and we've got, from directive, mine, we're really trying to count the numbers of people specifically at the movies in the park and the kids to park day. It is hard. We know that because kids go, they come, their parents leave and kids run around, so those are more hopeful or
It's a
not
hopeful,
quite
but-
accurate numbers, but for registrations alone, a little over 13,000 people participating in an event last year, which I think is pretty good for our community.
Is this being pushed out on social media? Like all this stuff's
Not-
really
It-
exciting.
That
It has been, yes.
might be on limits has, or are you talking
Mhm.
about the numbers?
the-
Those
The
are,
numbers,
those
like,
are going
it's
into,
It's happy.
those are going into the town's annual report. Those numbers are.
I'm sure we could have Emma though put some
Mhm.
posts together, like keep an eye on our Facebook page. I think that's something that I've seen at least one more thing that's new she's doing. St. Patty's Day event is not ours, but she's come up with a cute little
Mhm.
post to say, hey, come see Parks and Rec at St. Patty's Day event.
Yeah.
So if y'all see those sort
We're
of
trying to get more
things, we're trying to be, because we don't post specifically, we send it off, but we're trying to make it and have it set to be posted at certain times.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
y'all see those, share those. So we're trying to do what we can. So.
You are doing what you can and more. No, you guys are.
I'm happy that I feel like
There is.
people would like to hear it all, the happy
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
That would be a cute post though. that we
Yeah,
could do.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, then we'll do that.
Yeah, and then the next thing to do would be just like, we're looking into, maybe not this year, but next year, like really setting up some solid trail counters, because that would be more of a park side ability to capture how much effort we're putting into it, but also how many people are using it. My goodness, I was out, well, this isn't part of the conversation, but I was out the other day and it was like 8 o'clock. I took a bike ride on a Sunday, and every corner I turned, it was like people, dogs, and all. Everybody was out just crushing the trails and all over. I was like, this is awesome.
Of the weather.
Yep,
It's good.
So
that's my
for
fun.
sure.
Yay.
Yeah, other than that, we appreciate any help and with whatever, so yeah, we just thank you guys for being here and for what you guys do to bring, things back to us. So we have fun with it.
They take the ideas and run with it. That's for sure.
It's
Depends
cool
on
how
which
much
part.
things have changed. For the last 10 years, it's like, whoa, it's amazing.
We're in a good place. Just
Yep.
keep moving forward too.
What do you want to do with these? Do you want us to sign up? Do you want us to recruit?
Either or,
Both.
yes,
Okay.
let's
Yes.
go both, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
let's
answer.
go both, for
How
sure.
You with names or how to?
Yeah, reach out to me one of us really.
Okay.
It would be fine if you know that you specifically want to, like, let us know, and then if you're gonna recruit,
Okay.
that's great too. That'd
Okay.
be amazing.
Yeah,
So,
like if you have a date in mind, go ahead and throw it
Yeah,
on
go
here
ahead.
today and I'll take it
And
back to
Billy-
the staff and then we can look for, if you say Jesse plus question mark or
Okay.
hopefully find some, but okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Okay,
And then we can follow up.
very nice.
Of
Thank you.
course I will. Of course. So,
Any other questions for Kristen? I will get a chance for that tonight.
that's cool. Yeah,
Um,
Billy can bring it back to the
yeah.
office. That's not a problem at all. So, and yeah, like you said, if you want to recruit, people that want to come to events, we can always
Yeah. for
take
sure.
extra hands, especially set up and break down and that kind of stuff is
Okay.
huge, especially
Yeah.
your help, when you showed up for that pirate movie, that was huge, that being the first time for that event. So we've learned a lot of things this last year and some things that we want to make sure that we don't do, but change out, with the wind. It's just the wind and different
Yeah.
things with our equipment is really what we've learned. Where do we want to set up? Where do we not want to set up type of thing.
Excellent.
I put something at the coffee shop if you want for
Okay.
getting volunteers. If you
Okay.
wanna sign up.
Yeah, if we we could get something just like a little QR code, we can always do that. So I'll see. Yeah, that's a great idea. I will put that down and
Be in the minutes.
Then let's move on to the next item, master plan and community center feasibility study. Preparation for the trustees and very good.
Yeah, super excited. Yeah, next Tuesday. Big day, huge day. A lot of the information that have been gathered, that we're still obviously compiling. We don't really have a form document, like there's no master plan yet, right? We're still in the phases of moving towards a draft document, but until we get that, this next meeting with the Board of Trustees and PROST board is going to be visioning, and that's going to really lead a lot of what the overarching themes from so far, what we've taken from the community, into actual potential actions that we'll work on and then put that into the draft form. So this is the presentation that we've been working on. Barry Dunn put a lot of it together, and then we've given our feedback on how we kind of want this all to work with you guys, the combined work session. I hope you all had a chance to look through this. I don't know. My goal here was to just kind of take questions and see if you guys had any specific thoughts about the engagement. This Friday or tomorrow, I will have our last meeting with Barry Dunn prior to this. So if there are any questions or any ideas on, which way we want to flow with this visioning and work session, please throw them out to me, because we'll kind of wrap up exactly the confined message that we want. But 2 weeks ago, Jason, our lead, he had this presentation, showed it to myself and other staff, and we did our own kind of internal work process. Like, how about this tone? How about, let's kind of move in the direction of asking a little bit more questions, opening it up for more feedback, that kind of stuff. So out of that came this presentation, and this presentation couldn't be modified because it's in the packets, but what we can do is add some things in for Jason to talk about if you guys have any specific points or anything right now that he can maybe bring their knowledge ahead of time. If there's any stats that you want that we're kind of still compiling to make sure, or like any ideas that aren't in here that are overarching, love to hear thoughts. We can go through this one by one. We can talk about any specific thing on here. I can scroll through. If you guys have a chance to take a look at it, I know it is a lot to digest.
I thought it was good though, like.
Yeah.
A little note just for me is I have been warning and pumping the board up for this with the expectation that PROST is coming in hot for this presentation. So it's I don't know. The most outgoing people will get in this situation where we're doing this group session, and they will be intimidated all of a sudden. I want to prepare you guys. It's going to be friendly, fun, productive, and you guys have seen this content more than anyone else other than staff in the entire town. So you guys are the experts, and not only that, you're the experts of PROST in general. So like, do your thing. Like, this is the time to do it. You guys are forming the plan. So, and I've been just given a heads up. I was like, PROST is gonna get you on next Tuesday. I was like, they're coming in hot. Like, we're ready to roll. PROST is driving this. So they're prepared for it. They're expecting it. Even if you get a little nervous, just step outside of your comfort zone and just go wild. So this is the time to do it. So I'm so excited, and I'm your biggest cheerleader. So I'll be there, but I really, it's just how politics works. So like, the message from you guys is so compelling and so important. If I say something similar, it will be input, but if it's coming from you guys, so I'm really going to let you guys lead this discussion and really participate in it. And I got your back whenever you want it, but like, it means so much when it comes from you guys as volunteers representing the people of Arlington. So that's just my pep talk. But like, I'm really excited. I'm really, really, really excited.
So we roll through it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah.
Okay. So I think one of the big things in a grand idea that we would just want to throw out there is the fact that, we've done discovery. We were out in the public. We had the contractors come in, they did their needs assessments. They're still working through some of the fine details of all that because there's just so much going on in the system. Working through the program's master plan. That's why, you know, phase 2 and phase 3, that's why we haven't like thrown everything out to the public yet. But phase 4 is super important because we have overarching ideas. And that's where we are right now. And it doesn't quite look like it. It looks like we're past half, which we're a little bit past half. But this is such an important phase, this visioning idea, because what we do is we combine the community ideas, combine the expert ideas, and then combine the ideas of the board with staff all together at one place at one time before we actually have that document in hand. So it's really important to get the hardest and toughest opinions you guys have about everything that we've gone through so far, all the documents that you've read, all that, everything that you've been presented, all the preliminary things, all the, you know, through the discovery phase, if you remember back to that, just sitting down and all the things that we talked with Jason about, then I'm coming back, like, what do you guys need to prep? Because this, as Rebecca said, is like the crucial, I would call it the crux point where it's tipping towards, okay, now we have a place to go and now we'll have like legs to stand on after this comes out.
And don't be worried, you don't have to have all the solutions and answers. You don't have to know how to pay for anything, to be completely honest. I'm gonna take
No.
that out of there. This is just the visioning part. So don't let that stress you out, or if that comes up, it's really not even part of this step. Like that comes after the fact, like once we know what actually the community needs. So don't let that hold you up or anything like that. So
The dream big.
Yeah,
go for it.
so logistics of the meeting on Tuesday. So Barry Dunn will be there or will not be there?
Absolutely.
So they. will be
Jason's
there.
gonna run,
He's-
pretty much gonna
okay,
run
so
the
he's
whole
gonna run
meeting,
This presentation.
everything.
Okay, and then we chime in, okay. I'm
At,
just trying to
at
assess
any
the
point you want,
flexibility.
you can chime in, and then there's stopping points throughout where he's like,
Yeah.
what are you hearing? What can we do better? What are you thinking? Where are we
Okay.
at? Like, do you want to go back? What specifically do you want to see out of this, and this? Like, and that's where you guys need to chime in
Yeah,
and give your personal opinion, and then also think about just our, you know, our PROST goals. Tie in certain things where, you know, we've had projects on that project list. Go into that file and look at that and just say, look, we've been looking to do this. Some of these things are grand and maybe that's 5 years down the road, but we still want to accomplish this. Or as a broad arch, like we would like, you know, from your standpoint, I would like to potentially put more focus on redoing some of the places that we need to rehab first. And let's try to find grant money for that. You know, all those kind of things, like what's a good balance? That's what I'm asking for you. So there's a confined message, because visioning is visioning big, but it's not only visioning big for the future, it's visioning big about, you know, what we have now and how we can make it better, which is what we've talked about so many times, right? Like we all want the grandiose everything. We want it to be pristine, but we also know that we have to take care of a lot of things that the deferred maintenance has never been taken care of. The deferred maintenance, we don't have a schedule for it. So those kind of things.
And it's for the future. So it's not,
It is.
this is like the plan to set up the things to happen 20 plus years from now too. So not only short term and long term. So just all the things.
So we are envisioning.
Okay.
And again, that doesn't mean that we're 100% complete with phase 2 and 3. Phase 2 and 3 are kind of in a holding pattern to be finalized until visioning is done, and then it all comes together. So this is just that full on your screen. Sorry, I want to make sure you can see the entire thing without me skipping through. So he's just going to talk a little bit about what we did for our engagement, you know, making sure that everybody, non the public and the board, knows all the different steps that we've taken, how many touch points we have had with the community, how many times we've had to be out in the community as PROST, as surveys, like the different varieties and modalities, just to, you know, basically show how fair it's been for everybody in our community to be engaged.
Oh, it's Spain's. I didn't know.
Yeah.
My kid.
Yep. all the engagement stuff, all the different creative things that we've done. I think it just shows too, and Jason will talk about this, just how important this has meant to the community and how creative we've been in trying to reach the people of Wellington where they're at. We're not just send out a QR code only, or just send out an email and everybody's going to respond to it type of community. It's a darn near every way you can possibly get to somebody, we're gonna have to reach everybody. And just kind of the themes that we took in the engagement phase. So
This is so,
Yeah.
this piece
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like the little number on community survey is astounding.
uh,
The number returned.
on the community
The
survey.
Community survey.
So one thing I want to impress on this group too is that it is always going to be a question like, hey, we have 12,000 residents, but only 300 of them and 312. And really the goal was at least to get 300 and that 312 came in and they kept it open and it just, like that was it. That 312 over, or 12,000 versus the 312 that put it in. Almost any other survey, and Jason has said this, but again, I just want to impress on this group. If someone asks a question, that is like above and beyond a statistically valid representation of the community, because the way that they put it out, it was completely random to every piece of the town. Everybody had the opportunity to get it, went out randomly to mailboxes. Whoever wanted to fill it out, filled it out. But a lot of people will say, well, we didn't have our say on the survey because, what does that say of 300 of 12,000? And they've done hundreds and thousands of studies across the nation. And once you hit that threshold, it's like you could go to 500, you could go to 8,000 of the 12,000. And really statistically, you might have the most minute changes in certain categories, but that is like, it doesn't, I'm glad that you recognize that, but it doesn't look like a huge representation. But that is really good number of people to fill out an actual survey. Surveys are pulling teeth, but like stuff like this, people that
Social
engage
media
like
engagement.
61,000 times. That's kind of like the rec number that I threw out there, right? It's like, how many times did someone at least click a button to say that they were engaged in this and they had some sort of participant? 61,000 is a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Well, and I think too, the pop-up
Oops,
engagement,
sorry.
like other than social media, which we know reaches a lot of people, the pop-up engagement show how important that face-to-face is. And I think we recognize within our community that it's important to get out there with folks.
That quality of interaction you get face to face is so much higher too than even
Yep.
answers to a survey, in my opinion. So I love that.
They did, and they took all of that into account and all the stuff that they're still compiling and making sure that we get the right data. Just some of the stuff that has come out of the level of service combined with the recreation programming, I believe is what this is. So
I see in like the boxes, it shows the department strengths and then areas of improvement. What about all the stuff that's down below? Is that all stuff that's highlighted as really important?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. These are all, oh, sorry, this is all Voices of Wellington. That's my fault. This is all what the people of Wellington have said that are important to them.
Okay, so it's not on the scale of strengths to areas of improvement. This is everything. Sorry, I didn't read that, so
Yep.
That was the only thing, like you can see it broken down in the boxes, but the
Right.
pictures down below, I wasn't sure about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as far as, this is just our departmental. So this is the community's feedback on what the Parks and Recreation Department is doing versus the amenities and features that they want to see and frankly would like to push forward with from the community.
Those are some really solid department strengths. Like that's something you guys should be super proud of.
And I think it goes to show that, with Kristen, all the things that we're doing, I think the community is seeing those things and we're out in the public. I mean, yes, everybody knows that the recreation group is out in the public, but like every day I touch base with the parks crew And we have a meeting every week, and almost every time it's like, hey, I saw the lady with it. Like they have their stories of the people that they interact with. Like they always say the next to the dog park, the dog lady. You know, they might not even know someone's name, but it's like, I know her dogs. She has the two, the two dogs, and she comes here at 8 o'clock every single morning, which is this time I get here to pick up trash and check the dog park. It's like they always like those kind of interactions, I think, lead directly to that kind of quality. So and these are the kind of things where in that meeting, if you guys want to speak up and say like we are absolutely behind that. And also we've heard from the community on the things that we need to improve. And these are the things that we're working on with PROST is improving amenities. We've done this, we've done this. You can say the things that we've done in the past as a group to show and highlight how important it is, the things that we've got done, and have the backing to move forward with other projects.
Something I might challenge on this and bring up or have them be prepared to respond to. It says basketball courts, but my guess is that courts in general. So rather than just basketball, like inclusive courts that are multifunctional, I might challenge that and say, if we were to combine pickleball requests and basketball courts and this, would that be like an even stronger request? So that might be something I would just based on
Right.
passion.
Can I say something? So that is a fantastic point. And the ideas that are brought up in this next meeting will be even more impactful once the full breakdown of actual statistics come out. So if we talk about visioning and we talk about multi-use courts, and it's not just basketball, it's not just pickleball, when they're then equated to what the NRPA standards are, and that's directly stated in the master plan, we can say, well, we also visioned about having multi-court, so it hits 1 bucket, 2 buckets, and 3 buckets, all at the same time. So, and then there will be conversation about what is a multi-use court and why are we putting it in certain areas versus just a specific court. And then we can further the discussion on what is needed on a specific versus a multi-use court. Because we have the idea right now, we have no designated pickleball courts. They're multi-use courts with the tennis courts, which makes no designated tennis courts, which means we can't do tennis tournaments. So like when we say courts, it's like it's a bigger idea, but any conversation helps further the idea that this group has the right mentality of where we're going and the whole picture, I guess I should say. So this is
really interesting.
an overarching theme. One of the ones that we will bring to the table because they are comfortable stating the statistics of this one because it is important is for the broader conversation is this this here. Any questions or thoughts? I can zoom in here as well.
No, I think it really, we know that a pool and an activity center with more courts and the connections of our trails are priorities. I think all of us would say that individually.
Yeah.
So to see it reflected is really good to know that we're kind of on the right track with that.
Yeah.
It also, Robert will be unhappy to see, where skateboard park sits. And some other things, but I think it's interesting to me that playgrounds is such a low.
Yeah, but here, my interpretation of that is that we already have those amenities, and so they're not as high priority.
That makes sense.
That's how I would.
Yeah.
People are
Right.
saying that right now. They're feeling, I believe, there are a couple different ones that could tie into this. Their needs are more met as a community for the ones in the low priority. That doesn't mean that we can't have a vision for making them better by any means.
Right.
Especially again with the conversation of where is it? Outdoor park and pavilion and shaded areas and large community park and gathering spaces is on here somewhere, right? So like if we look to redo Centennial at some point, which I think is a grand idea that almost everybody in the community would understand that we're trying to do, right? That would then take the skate park out potentially. So that doesn't mean that then all of a sudden it probably would be a high priority because then it would be a zero amenity.
It's not available.
So those are the conversations we need to talk about, right? So if you're talking about redoing or upgrading any of the high priority stuff or adding high priority stuff, does that limit or mitigate any of the low priorities, thus making it from a 0 to a 50 or a 70 or 100? And the cool thing about this whole process is now that, once we're done with it, once it's adopted, it's a 5 to 10 year, but that doesn't mean we can't change things once the community changes after 2 years. So we can check a box off and take 2 high priorities off, whatever they may be. That might completely impact a medium or a low. And all of a sudden they're not medium anymore. They immediately turn to high. And that's what's great about this group, because we've gone through this process and we might have that document. And then in 5 years, maybe we go and do another study or just an update. And it makes it so easy to then say, we've done this, this, and this. Now where are we at?
Yeah.
Survey says all of a sudden skate park is a 90 because we haven't been able to redo it. Totally hypothetical. I'm just kind of throwing out examples of why this all means so much, but also why we can't forget the work that we've done before, right?
Yeah.
So we always have to keep that on the table. And I know there's a couple of people in here who won't let that fall off.
I know it's not a surprise for anything that's on the list though, because you guys this validates you. Like you guys have been pushing for exactly what the community wants. So if anything, feel more empowered for that because you guys have had sites on this. I mean, you have the data to prove it now, right? But like you guys have been pushing for exactly the right things.
In 2015, all the reporting that came back for that time and that study and reach out to everybody was trails. So to have it on here again is like, okay, this is we need to focus.
Number 2 priority, it's like, that's massive. And I think you can even make a case like, if you talk about that, this is so great about this. We can have conversations and this could take forever. So I'll try to wrap this up, this page. But we can have the conversation of like, this is a high priority, an indoor pool. But what's more achievable right now that we can start on that is high on the list? Yeah, we can start to improve trails or looking for where those trails are going to connect like in the immediate. So like, it doesn't mean that number 1, we have to go looking for indoor pools. Of course we don't. That's what the visioning's about. Are we in the place to do that? Blah, blah, all that stuff. But it's like, who does it impact? How quickly can we make that impact? And how quickly can we move forward with actually completing projects? So that might move to top of PROST priority list after this.
Yeah.
That's what's great about the visioning. You guys have all that stuff to talk about. And again, everything I'm saying is hypothetical, but those are like, that's the way that the master plan works is what I'm trying to get across, right? And how it's actionable for our community as it grows.
Water fitness, swim lessons. It's almost like they go together.
But again, here's something too, like if water fitness is something, isn't that adult fitness too? So like those two can maybe be tackled together with one. Those are the kind of things where like, bam, that makes more of an impact. If 3 of them can be taken with 1 or 2 can be taken with 1. It's such good information. 65,000 pieces of evidence goes into showing this stuff. And this is just overarching. Once it's done, there's going to be so much more like very specific data that comes out too. So I guess what, to save time, challenge you maybe to write a note about each one of these things or 2 things or something that really feels good that you can expand on in this meeting. So here's a place to stop, but trust me, Jason will stop at any time. That's his job, is to listen and hear. So if you have a question or a comment, chime in. All good stuff. All different ways to look at it too. Such a cool picture. I just love that picture.
I love fishes.
My oldest
just got an e-bike and he has been taking pictures of him on the dock with his e-bike, like selfies.
That's so fun.
Like, well, not quite what it's for, but hey, if you're using it, okay.
You're
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just, these are our programs. I don't know if you've read through this yet, but um,
Can I just
Yeah.
a comment?
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that, and I think you're right, like this is reflecting what we know, but it's so interesting to me that people are advocating for things that we don't have. That sounds obvious, but like in communities where there is a swimming pool, would they rate swimming and aquatics as high
yeah,
if they have access to that amenity? So it's just a comment about like the psychology. They're commenting on things they don't have, and that makes it a priority versus like, oh, we already have access to all of these things and they're still a priority. I don't know. It's just,
That is interesting.
yeah,
is.
Mhm.
it doesn't make a difference, but it's.
It does. I mean,
Well, it does if you're looking to fund something,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
when it comes to that, because when you build something like a community center with a pool, you're basing most of that off, can you pay for it off of revenue? Are people
Mhm.
going to use it?
Yeah,
And is it gonna pay?
Right.
Are they really that interested enough where they're gonna be willing to pay the memberships or the fees to use it? Because that's what's gonna pay for something like that.
right.
So when you look at it from that standpoint, it is important to know, like, do they really, is there enough desire for it?
Or is it wanting something they don't have?
Yeah. I would guess that swimming always is somewhere on the list
I
of,
would
because it's
agree.
like a life safety, it's like
It is.
every, which I hope is part of every child's
Yes.
process, so I think that one might be, but
Yeah.
I think,
It's
but not,
interesting.
not top, that's for sure.
Right.
I think you're, I
Yeah.
think that's a good point. I have to go, I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
Double
Thank you
today.
so much.
But I am
Thanks
really
for being
excited
here.
for Tuesday. Bring your A game. Let's go team go.
Go team go.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
How do you want to continue forward? Should we go, do you want to go through every single slide?
I
Should we
don't think
read
it,
through it?
honestly, I mean, I wanna be cognizant of time, but I think if we're sitting down in front of the board and they want us to be prepared,
Yeah.
then we need to be talking about this now.
Mhm.
I don't wanna walk into that meeting.
No,
like,
absolutely.
We haven't gone over it as a group to talk about what we feel like are things that we.
I'm here to do whatever you guys want. We
Yeah.
can, like, how deep we want to go about every single one. Cause some of these, like this one, Jason's probably gonna just explain kind of what is being taught, or what is being
I
found.
feel like this is one of those, for this, we probably all know this anyway. But that's just me, and I tend to be very vocal.
I think that, access to our programs
Mhm.
is really tough. Timing, scheduling, our ability to put on programs in multiple locations at the same time, because either we don't have the space or we don't generally have the facilities to do it.
I think also it touches multiple times on people on the east side.
Yeah, and the community's access to getting to where we have the amenities, I guess, is really what it is too. We can move everything to a park that fits, but it's all pretty much centrally located by by the middle of town, and also I-25 is in the way.
I feel like it's come up a couple times here too, but, I've seen it posted on some of the social media, but people having to leave town to access whatever it is they're looking for, that's huge. And I feel like that's where we need to push the board. Are we trying to keep people in town within the community? Because then they spend money here and all of those.
That's how we
reasons.
grow and we make money
Yeah.
and we afford things.
But we need to keep people in town to do those things. It shows that.
So take your notes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's interesting on this one too, when it talks about timing scheduling, like the request for more all-day summer camps to support families, like that came up in one of the other
Mhm.
slides too about early childhood or childcare, like more options for that. I think we're seeing a real need for that within our families and our communities.
And I think, that ties into also accommodations for, ability impaired. You know, we don't really have the ability to support that community. One, we don't have a center, nor do we have the, the robust recreation programming for all of that yet. But, that's kind of one of my takeaways, not just for, the general youth population. It's for the population that is only 100% able to go into Fort Collins to find that as an ability to find adaptive recreation opportunities. Because, if we're looking for daycare, are we there yet? No. But we do have soccer programs. We have a soccer camp. We have a football. Like they can be involved in things. But for specific needs, we have almost next to nothing. We will make accommodations in our programs, but that's not always what is needed for certain families. So to touch everybody in that community as well, it's next to or zero. And that's just in my position. That's kind of one of my takeaways from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's
Touches on all of that.
and one thing that is a common theme about our programming is we are so youth sports based. We're starting to expand programming, and we're doing as best we can without stretching too thin, and with the facilities we have. But if we don't diversify our portfolio, not away from youth sports, but out to encompass youth sports, if for some reason something happened with youth sports, like if a soccer program dropped its wings down, like right down the street and took everybody away, that takes away so much of our participants and so much of our revenue and so much of our, like, we need to diversify to make sure that if those little things are taken away, or, like every once in a while, we can't run a program because kids age out and there just isn't enough kids in that next group. And then the next year, all of a sudden there's like twice as many teams as 2 years before. We have that problem though, because we're not quite big enough to support that. So when those things happen, we scramble in our office to figure out how to deal with that. And because it's such a big piece of, it is the largest piece of what we do.
Yeah.
So it's important that diversification in any manner in our rec program is huge. Yeah. And then, we touched on this, the geographic and equity barriers. And I think we'll go into this a little bit, but yeah, and diversifying revenue beyond just, and it really should say, it does say sports and even adults. Like the biggest thing we have for them is adult sports too. We don't have a lot of programs outside of sports because we don't have a facility yet. Sorry, go ahead.
Stuff.
There is, but I'm just saying, like our adult volleyball has a ton of participants, our adult softball, and they come back year after year. We are getting the Zumba, we got the yoga back, and we're getting more. I think this is an important piece just for us to know too. Like we do have 18 locations. Although we don't do what we call the natural areas. Typically, we don't do a ton of work there anyways, but the public works usually is the ones that mows and maintains that, depending on the area. But this is showing that like there's not a lot of quality recreational outdoor spaces. So just a thought.
Is that related to the size? Is that the connection they're trying to make? So 131 acres in other geographies, there's more attention. Like, is it a proportion thing? I guess is what I'm asking. How am I thinking about that? Like, we have 131 acres in other places where they have 131 acres. There's more attention to X, Y, and Z.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what? That's an interesting question on national dispersion
Yeah.
between natural areas and not. Part of our problem is we really don't have any like natural areas. Ours are all kind of the man-made from the developments where we have drainage areas or in between houses that are town property that people can walking trails and stuff. The biggest problem with them, and I might be getting a little off track, is they're not amenitized at all, and they're really not like heavily taken care of as far as
Okay.
vegetation and stuff like that. So focusing on that, I think, is what it's going. But it's hard. We would be hard pressed to even compare to somebody because if you just look at the geography of, and I don't even want to compare us to Fort Collins, but even like Timnath, the geography of Timnath, the Poudre runs through Timnath. Like they have that corridor.
Yeah.
The box elder runs through here and there's zero water in the box elder unless we have flooding type rain. So like our riparian ability is all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So we have to get more creative of what we have, I think is what it's saying.
Okay, that's.
Or what could come out of this. That's what I take from it.
But eventually could turn into.
Yeah. Or be creative on what we go to seek
Yeah.
in the future because we just don't have that in our growth management area right now. Yeah. Just categorization. So 6 areas. I don't think that almost 38, a little over 26 acres is bad as what's considered natural areas. I think it's just finding a better way to utilize them so that the public can actually feel like they're natural areas.
This is helpful. I think I missed this part, so that this helps me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And these
Oh, yeah.
so this is a big like, here's the information that we've got from the start of the level of service. Now what do we do with it? You know, or just like, here's the information so you can see. And then we need to think about what this means as a community. I mean, not good. It's really not terrible. The poor ones again are the open spaces that because and there's generalized scores behind all of these ones or categorized scores, not generalized, categorized scores on why they fare work poorly, but mostly it's just the idea of one amenity count and the quality of amenities. So I mean, not one of our open spaces really has a true amenity to it. Just kind of an overview of everything and then the overarching ideas of where our priority areas should be coming from. Obviously, the center of town is mostly amenitized, but these areas are really underserved. And then as you can consider moving out into this area as we develop and over into, you know, over into this area or right here is where, yeah, this area where Saddleback is going to be like, those are going to be pretty far from any sort of quality amenitized park. Things that we know, but it's really good to see in actual statistics or, you know, a dynamic map. This one's all about connectivity potentials and connectivity issues.
Look at all those areas for trail expansion.
Yeah, so these ones, these two bottom ones identified through work with local partners is what we've done with, and I've talked a little bit about that. They're going on regional planning, so areas to consider in the future. And then these ones, like trail expansion here, some sort of pedestrian under or overpass at I-25 because as we know from that previous map, this is an underserved area. Sorry, I should do this on mine. This here is an underserved area. So to get as a pedestrian anywhere to the other side of the highway, you have to go all the way down here and then all the way back up here. We know this, right? But it's like there's an underserved area. This could serve all the area and connect multiple underserved areas too. So a future thought of an underpass or an overpass, even if it would just be a pedestrian, but at Jefferson, just a consideration.
Part of that, or
So here's the great thing about master planning. Our master plan can drive other departments to have master plans,
Transportation.
yeah.
like the
Okay,
transportation master plan.
got it.
And Cody's team and I are working together to make sure specifically these are identified. So we identified them first. Their plan just now started to identify some stuff. We've been working hand in hand to make sure that when you lay a map on top of the map, they're not going to look, they don't have the same graphics and say, but it'll be identified because it was 99% the same
Amazing.
in both of the plans. So a completely different person or contractor identified almost everything that ours had identified 3 months before just at the start of ours, right? So it's like there are issues in our community and it's hard. It's really hard to not justify putting resources to figuring out how to make it better for our community members if it's identified in multiple plans that have same ideas, same modalities, just to serve the public better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we know the biggest gap in the middle of town. So again, these are the things. Where do we rank the priorities, right? These maybe not right now high priorities. This might be a future off thing, but look, we can serve so many people a connectivity trail to so many different amenities that they call critical services.
Mhm.
The schools, to the fire department, to our municipal service building to get services from the town, right? All those kind of things. And then this to connect these sites.
Walking equity requires immediate attention.
The walking score, it's crazy. The walking score isn't that bad, but the equity is terrible. It's not good.
Because it only serves a certain part of Wellington, correct?
Yep. Almost everybody in our community by NRPA standards can get to a park or open space within a 10-minute walk. Or I believe it's a mile or something. It's within a mile. But the fact that only a certain population can get to almost all of the amenities and half the population can't hardly get to anything, that's where the equity piece comes in. So that's where you can overlay two maps that says, okay, this doesn't look so bad. And then you're like, okay,
Yes.
this is not good at all. Because if you're by Sunrise Park, if you're within a mile of there, you're within a mile of a park. If you don't have a 3-year-old or 5-year-old kid, that's all there is at that park for you. There's nothing else, right? So it might fit 1 out of every 25, 1 out of every 50 homes,
Right,
right?
yeah.
So that's where the equity piece comes in.
I like the limited excellence on that.
Mhm, I know.
It's like, wow, that's a way to describe it. Right?
But it's 100% true.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
I told them, I was like, just
They need to.
put it out there, whatever the
Yes.
truth is. And they said, okay, let us know what it is.
Mhm.
Walking equity requires immediate attention.
Yeah.
I love that one. It's like, okay. And we're not doing it, but I think the transportation master plan, I guess it's just me saying, we'll also say that walking safety is an immediate too, and that they'll go kind of hand in hand, the equity and the safety piece. So that's how we hopefully we'll do things together. So then, just another feedback point.
Are they gonna, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah.
But are we gonna go into details on the recreation center? Will they cover this in the, okay,
just on what's going on right now. I mean, it's part of the plan that we paid for, a feasibility study.
Yep.
But you know, just so it's out there now, it's out there to this group, it's out there to everybody. Everything that's been put into the recreation center is only driven from what was already presented in this that the community said. That's where it's all derived from. It's not like anybody was at any one time sitting there being like, well, I want a pool this size, I want to, you know, XYZ. It's everything that is in the very, very first stages of or the beginning stages of what a community center could look like has been driven by the community. And there's just been a little bit of mock-ups when it was like they did an analysis of, I think, did I show you guys that earlier, of where a rec center could go? And it's like, that's not going to serve anybody there. Well, they got the land for it, but that is not. So like they're like, this is the most equitable space for the town. So after that, we've done some designing to fit it in that space, working with the fire department to make sure there's access and, you know, slope and grade and potentially sitting in outside of the floodplain, all that kind of stuff. Yes, of course we've done, because we're not going to present something that's like, okay, let's go back. And nope, we can't do that at all. Like, those are the things that we've worked through internally to get it to this piece. But we're not sitting there and be like, no, the community says they want, you know, 2 basketball courts look right. We want 6 because that's what I want. Not at all.
Right.
It's just like they're taking the data, giving it to BRS, and BRS is like, this is what it could look like for your community based on the data that we have so far.
And crazy, that was in the spot that was picked in 2008 for that master
Yeah.
plan. So it's very clear, like, that's it. It's
Yeah.
a good spot.
It
Well,
is.
it's kind of the only spot.
It's a
Somebody
good
tried to
spot, I think.
propose like across from.
In that big
Mhm.
field.
Yeah, there had been some conversations about that over the years.
That was the Timmick property.
And so then
Mhm.
then it got brought back to this location, and it's fun to see it come full circle.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that
this makes sense.
that was a place that they explored through this. And then obviously we'd have to procure it, but some of the land around the middle school, high school, just places. But again, that just serves like
Right.
community park right next to who's that serving, right? The equity piece. This is like
Yep.
center of town. That's what the study says. So, and then this, like, right? It's just, if this is it, we had to go through this mock up multiple times to make sure that things would potentially fit and all this would work.
Mhm.
And just so this group knows, right? This is just a feasibility study.
Yeah.
This is, you know, only to see if the community could support it, not even would support it. We'll talk about the would too, obviously, that's part of the visioning. But really, it's just like, what does the data show? Is it feasible for our community to even look to doing this? Putting it here and having it look exactly like this, that is way far. Engineering and all that has to go into, just so this group knows. If anybody asks, like, is this what it's going to be? It's like, this is not even close to what it would probably look like. I mean, if we did all this stuff perfectly like this, that'd be amazing. But like, would be years of work. So just mock-ups, just sketches, just ideas of how does the community feel if we were to potentially look at moving forward with this type of project for the town. And then again, this is just like all these sizes, all the amenities, just totally driven by what the community said would be wanted out of a community center. And then also, you know, just we've talked about this, things to know that there's, you know, expansion opportunities or opportunities for change. If let's just say the visioning comes in and says, you know what, we really would like to somehow tie a new library into a community center. If that's what we're looking for as a community in a visioning, that's why we're here talking together. That's what this is all about. If that's what we're thinking, like from a long-term standpoint, cool, great. This is just strictly off of the community survey. So, and again, hypothetically, if we move forward with this in 2 years, we could say, well, yeah, this place is even worse. So we do need to look at a library, or we do need to tack a senior center onto it, whatever that is. This is totally just out there from the survey stuff. No, just be the upper level as we move that. I think it's pretty cool. So
That's
then
awesome.
we'll talk about what the community center would mean to the community and what it would mean to, you know, all the services that we would provide there and what other services we would look to maybe do there. All that kind of stuff will come up in conversation. So any thoughts you have about that is great. Then just another recap, right? Doesn't mean we're done with 2 and 3. We're just using the information that we have so far to tie it into what we want to see envisioning between the two, this amazing group here and the board of trustees. And then we will take all the information and then go into the action plan implementation and then the draft of it. And that's like the second half meat of it portion. How are you thinking about Tuesday? How are we feeling?
Good. I feel a little unknown about exactly what to expect it to feel like, I think logistics wise, but I mean, I think we know what we feel strongly about, right? And what this shows and pushes.
I think using the word multi-generational on several of these things will get the community support that we're looking for. So I think when you have that chance to speak up, talking about multi-generational, the trails, the community center, everything that we're talking about can be used by everybody. It'll be huge. I know that when we originally were talking about some of these things, people felt like we're just focusing on one age group years ago, right? You know, so I haven't used that word.
That's a good point, yeah.
And that's what that rec study did, right? Our program analysis said there is too much focus. You need to diversify.
Yep.
So a lot of what we're, you know, the trails, all the things that are high on the list are
Yeah.
what's really good about multi-generational equitability, diversification of
Yep.
not just recreation programming, but abilities all across every community member. 'Cause right now it is kind of confined as a majority.
You know, Pooter School District just sent out that email about
$12 million in cuts.
well, just I mean, yes, but the decline in youth, youth. I mean, I think we're looking at needing more that is not focused on youth, unfortunately, because it's a declining population.
I think that also
Sometimes
is
weird.
very Fort Collins driven. When I think about that, like, I think people have aged. You've pushed young families out of Fort Collins, so I don't necessarily
That's
know that
fair.
Wellington will see that drop, but I think you're right in the sense of like, it is an overwhelming issue. I mean, we know the community
Even in
feedback
our
is we need more for our teenagers.
Yeah,
We need more for our teenagers.
Yeah.
So coming with those mindsets, like,
Yeah, and so I think, again, you're right, it's like the multi-generational, it's about everybody, you know, we wanna have walkable trails so people can get out and walk their dogs. I mean, we have so many people who are retired who enjoy the outdoors and wanna be able to get out and walk, and when they can't have connected trails or, you know, you wanna, any of that.
Yeah.
keeps them from coming to get a sandwich at Ghost Dog or going to a coffee shop and then shopping at Thistle, like those kind of things that have so much more impact than just
The walkability to our downtown is a huge issue. It's a huge issue. And if that's the hub, then we need to, you know, that is our center point, and we know that the community wants, I mean, they talked about it like more community events or large special events.
We know our community wants that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when we don't have a place where we can host that as central hub, where we pull people
Taking these-
downtown. I'm
please
going
take
to,
the
I'm gonna
notes.
print it all when I get home and,
Are you
Right now.
dictating right now?
no.
Oh, I was like,
I
I hope you
can.
do. I can try to get you the recordings of this too, so you can listen to it for the weekend, because this is good discussion. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Our
Yeah.
meeting, yes, that would be great.
I can see if Jerry can pull it tomorrow.
But no,
I'm
I
not
think,
taking
Copious notes.
transcribed notes because I'm purchasing, but if you can
I like
get
it.
that, that'd be great.
I will. That's how I used to take all the notes, just as a side, because I couldn't.
Right.
But
well, I think that for me is a bigger, like a big focus. I mean, I want a place where our downtown and our community can spend time together, and we need to make it accessible and viable for different community events, and, you know, that's super important. And if we're doing all this work to like improve our downtown, then this is the perfect feed in to that. Like, we're making our downtown a
People
super cool
here.
place to
Yeah.
be. Let's make sure people can get here easily,
yep.
you know?
Yeah.
Nobody should have to bike Highway 1 from their neighborhood to get, I mean, you don't have to, but it's like trying to, even to get from Sage Meadows into town is ridiculous.
Well, everybody's seen I would call them one-offs, but they're not so much anymore, going over the overpass on I-25. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
like, can I just give you a ride, please? So like those kind of things that are personal accounts are probably important too, for you guys to say, like, how many times have I've seen people just walk the trail at Harvest and then they just stop at Jefferson, turn around and go back. It's like, because there's nowhere for them to go and continue on and enjoy other areas of town. It's like, it literally, it helps limit people to certain aspects of our community.
Well, it also builds disconnection within our community, I think. It forces you kind of to live in your own little bubble of the community, and I don't think that does us as a community any good when we can't come together as a whole.
I mean,
That just creates issue
we
after
already
issue.
say it enough, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you live on the east side. Oh, you're on the west side. Like, of course that'll continue to say, but like, how much better would it be if it was like, oh, you're on the east side, I can come to you in
I
2
remember
minutes, I'll walk across.
when we moved from the east side, because that's where we bought when we first moved here, and we moved to the west side, everybody was like, oh, you're going to the cool side. Like that was the whole thing, and I was like, oh, like there
Right.
really are.
Right.
And for us, we didn't have, our kids were super little at the time, or we didn't have kids, and so
Yeah.
for us, it was like, well, we just went into Fort Collins for everything, which is another thing that happens when you can't easily access your own community, is you go other places and you spend money in other places, and it doesn't help us one darn bit as a community. Because how do we get the things we want? We spend money in our community.
Mhm.
I'll try not to get that fiery with our board.
Please do, because tying this, one of the
Sales tax here.
Yeah.
one of the huge priorities of every member of every board that I've seen here since I've been a resident and now working here has been economic viability and economic growth. And if we bring this up with this and how this impacts that overarching idea to the community, like, get fiery. I don't know if people don't really grasp the idea that every night that we have a recreation program, or every night that somebody holds a practice, people are spending their time in a park that the taxpayers' money is going to maintain. But you know what they're doing? They're there till 7 o'clock, and there's a good majority of them that are cruising to McDonald's. They're cruising to the grill afterwards.
Yeah.
They're spending their money here because they don't have the time to go to Fort Collins. That's a very special impact that recreation specifically has on our community.
Yeah.
And if we're allowing those people that would build that community and relationships to only do that on the nights that they have recreation, they're not gonna do it on a Saturday night. They're gonna go into Fort Collins. But if they're like used to doing it and can get places and want to stay here, it's like, no, let's go back to the grill again because we can bike tonight. Right? We don't have to rush home after to get a quick dinner. We can actually go hang out because we have an easy path there.
And by doing that, it also allows us to put in more restaurants, which provides more options.
Yep. And then
I
you
mean,
get
it's all
people that,
connected.
coming to play in a soccer tournament one day, or at the softball tournaments that we have, and they're staying here and eating here. I don't know, physically they can't stay here. Well, they
That's a
might.
whole nother.
They might. I mean, we have a place for them to stay, but they're more likely to if all of this continues to build and grow and they want a reason to stay here.
The bicycle groups want to come here. We have several that follow us on Facebook, right? And we're trying to get them to come up here. And we have two that for sure will make a stop at the Owl Cane, but we can't. It's hard to get more up here because we can't accommodate to get them up here on the trails. We had big guys, the big groups.
Yeah.
The NOCO bike ped, you know how many of them, we just had a meeting that I sat on and say, talking about just like all the great trails and places that they go that they normally wouldn't because they're riding their bikes and they're big groups of people. You don't ride up to Wellington.
We used to have people like that, smaller groups, but they would come into OCB too. They'd like bike up, have a beer, and bike back to Fort Collins.
How many more?
Yeah.
If there was an actual trail rather than Giddings. to Highway 1.
I used to bike that when I worked at iStone. I'd bike from Fort Collins to
Cool.
work. Crickets. And I'd never bike it anymore because people drive like. I'm afraid I'd die on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So then just where we're at next, we're envisioning right now, compile everything, we'll build our strategic initiatives. Which are like, maybe, depending on what we want, like 4 to 6, and this group will help build those 4 to 6 overarching goals that really drive all the little things that we do. Kind of like, you know,
Like
the
our
town has a
guiding principles.
comprehensive plan, like our
Yeah.
guiding plans, and then there's all the little things we can build out from those. And then implementation. And that's the presentation.
Looks great.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
It's gonna go really well.
I think so too.
Okay.
Is it like a roundtable session? Is
Yeah.
It'll be.
It'll
all
just,
of us
it'll be
here?
just square,
Okay.
this will just be open in the middle,
Is it open to public too?
It starts at what time?
6.
6.
Trustee meetings start at 6. So,
And how
It's
much time do we have? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
How much time do we have? Do we have the whole meeting? Is that dedicated
it's,
to this?
that is the only thing. Sorry, did I say 6?
It's 6.
6:30, sorry.
Okay.
Our meeting started at 6, Board of Trustees meetings start at 6:30. And we have however long it takes.
Okay.
Cause I was at a meeting on Tuesday, till 10 o'clock at night.
What's it Mardi Gras? Nobody planned for that.
Wow.
Someone bring us donuts. Or whatever else it is. You have like beignets.
Okay.
No,
King cake.
I wanna,
With the baby in it.
Yeah.
and it can take as long as we need to. And I hope it does, because I want engagement and I want feedback, and I want this group to really encapsulate what the community has put the effort into as well. And everything that you guys have put the effort into.
Are you bringing stuff? Are you bringing swag?
What kind of swag you want?
I don't know, something fun for these folks that are gonna show up and they're gonna be excited and passionate. and-
Oh, you're talking, like recreation?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. We'll bring rec guides, we'll bring the parks and apps, we'll
Make it,
bring some swag.
yeah,
Yep, okay. Any community member is gonna get all sorts of fun stuff.
it's good.
We do need to, I shouldn't say get rid of, but we do annual changeover so that not everybody's getting everything. We still have a little bit of stuff left from last year, so it's a
Make it
good time
permanent.
to pass it out.
Bring
Yeah.
it. Be like Mardi Gras throwing out.
Right?
I'm gonna make it
Get
Mardi Gras.
beads,
So,
Frozen-
yeah, she's gonna
Get the PROST beads. That's awesome.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
Cool.
Well, I assume, Laurelyn, for you and John, the conversation about, this is stuff that we saw in our 2015 plan, like that we're seeing again.
Yeah.
I think your guys' perspective on that will be really big to
Yeah.
touch on, from that perspective of like, hey, this was something that was on that same map.
We're being echoed again
Yeah.
as something important to this community. That's how important this
Yeah,
is
we are.
to move forward.
I honestly think that you could bring up the 2015 and then I can fill the gap in between because of like the trees and the shade structures has been on our list for the longest time. And
Yeah.
everything that we've ever had community members come in and talk about is high priority stuff. There's not a lot of low priority that hasn't already been taken care of. We had the Eagle Scout do the ramp and the skate park just went down the list. I mean, it's just, we know we have one. Like you said, you take it away and that goes to a different place, but I can fill the middle out where we knew these were the issues.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure we're getting some of this stuff done. So,
I love that, saying all the people coming in too.
yeah.
Over the years,
Yep.
echoing. Their voice is literally being heard still.
Mhm.
That's what that is. It's the single person is saying the same thing that the majority of the people in town are saying.
Yeah.
That these are priorities for us. That's a fantastic point.
Now we have the staff and the resources and the abilities to accomplish.
And importantly and don't forget to talk about this, is like, we'll have a workshop, multiple, but like the implementation phase, like just hammer home, like this is what the community wants. And I'll say this for myself as staff, I want to do my best to make it happen. And I hope you guys feel that about PROST, that it's like, this is our goal and we're gonna implement this plan to the best of our ability, like hammer that home. Cause I'm so excited to have that in my hand and not just put it on a shelf and be like, okay, we did our plan. I'm gonna be like, okay, day one,
Yeah.
what are we doing, folks? Where are we at?
Because we do have the elections coming up, and so we're presenting this to the current
Mhm.
board.
Yep.
Do we feel like we'll probably need to do some version of this after the new board?
I think the new board will get, they will be on before we have our draft plan, and we will present the draft plan
Okay.
to them. And that'll be the whole, and then they'll, nitpick it and whatever they want to see or whatever they feel like wasn't captured or.
I think all the people that are in the running that want to be on the board
Mhm.
will be here. So they're gonna hear all this information anyway.
Oh, I see, those
They
that are
should be.
running,
Well,
okay,
yeah, they
They
should.
should be.
Yeah.
Should be there.
got it, okay.
And these,
Yeah.
these work sessions are pretty relaxed. It's always hard to guess because just trustees change. So you're not
Mhm.
getting the same one. So there's a few maybe I don't know personally. But you gotta remember they're sitting up there in those chairs most of the time and it's just real formal. So they actually enjoy the sit down and the talking back and forth and having a discussion. So I wouldn't stress out about it at all. It's usually really relaxed.
I'll tell you this, with how fun this stuff is and how engaged our public has been, how great it is going to be, we hopefully won't have a problem being in a really good environment, because last year we did a budgeting work session. And literally everybody, staff and board of trustees, walked out saying that was fun, like a budgeting work session. We were all just talking and open, like it was a good conversation about where the town was going forward. Were there people that had different opinions? Of course, absolutely, which should come out of this,
Yeah.
which we're gonna hear, right? Someone's not gonna be happy, and that's great because we're gonna take that feedback, and Jason's gonna take that feedback, and we're gonna say, how can we wrap that in? Is it that meaningful? And if it's not, then we can talk about it. And then that's why we do the draft plan to them. And some will say, where's that? But we're going to have good, strong conversation. And I think it's going to be hopefully wholeheartedly to push this in the best place that it can get to.
Mhm. Well, they all live here too. I mean, they're all a part of the community as well. Most of them probably have similar desires and things they want to see and hopefully took part in all the surveys. So I think it'll be good. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
think it's great to be able to sit down and have those conversations.
Agree.
So. Cool, awesome.
Just come with your A game, right?
Yeah.
Trustee
No
Haley.
pressure. Just the four of us.
She just rolls out.
Maybe just take a little bit of time and just kind of go over it one more time and like I
Yeah.
was saying, make some notes. If you have anything that you want Jason to talk about, send it.
Yeah,
to
please
Billy.
do. And email me, but I will work to get this out, to get the meeting recording out. Or I'll send you if Jerry can get it, because they all go on YouTube. So if I can get the link tomorrow or even Saturday when it's uploaded,
Perfect.
I'll see if I can push that forward quick.
Yeah, I probably won't have notes done.
Yeah, you can just take notes off the recording. This portion of it, I think I called a work session.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
We need to vote on your shed.
I would say just listen to it at like 1.5 or 2 times. It's gonna take you forever. Okay, well, that's up to him.
Does anybody else have anything else? And don't be afraid to text me or call me. My days usually end at 5. Sometimes it's earlier. I can most time take calls at work, but that's far and few in between. But use the group text. Talk to each other. If you find something that you really want to speak clearly about, you want your time and you want maybe us to step back and give you, if you feel real passionate about it, put it in the text. That way we're all on board. But feel free to talk about anything. Feel free to gang up on one subject, everybody. I mean, this is the time to really be passionate about it, so. Yeah.
We're all here because we're passionate about it. But now
Yes,
it's
you are.
our turn to voice it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Then moving on,
Okay.
Harvest Park Shed.
I'll make this real brief. I kind of sent it out in the email, but we're looking to put a shed at Harvest Park. We're going to turn soccer into there. It's gonna be a hub for better snow and also equipment for the team. We think either one of probably our new gator that we got will go over there, which is fantastic because it's great for the trails. I plowed with it for the first time and I was super stoked. It worked amazing. And yeah, so I just, with the new purchase, it's not a purchase, it's a financial management policy that the town adopted. There's just some tweaks to our old purchasing policy. So we as directors and leadership have a little bit more purchasing power without it being under a CIP, which allows us just to use our operational budgets kind of where we see fit, which is fantastic. But for a larger purchase like this, I will always come to you guys and it's in a park. It's going to be a shed in a park. I've gone through it with planning to make sure or code to make sure that everything is good. I'll do it one more time before if I purchase this or we purchase this, but I just wanted to let you guys know it's something that we're thinking about doing before the soccer season starts.
I love it.
I think you should.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
So we want
I think we could do a vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I entertain a vote to approve Billy purchase a shed for Harvest Park.
I second. Or am I
Enter-
voting?
enter-
Make a
entertain.
motion.
Oh, sorry. So I make a motion that Billy can purchase the park for Harvest Village, Harvest
the
Park.
shed for
Shed
Harvest
for
Park.
Harvest Park. Do I need to try again?
Second, that's good.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Cause I obviously know what I'm talking about.
Motion has passed.
That's passed.
A lot.
Do you want to go through your announcements or do you have anything that you want for us to know?
Yeah, we could.
Oh, future calendars.
It's up there. I've made a few adjustments even since I posted this. There's some things that have come up that I'll send that back out to everybody on here just for next month, just to make sure. I'll try to get to Robert and see if he's getting those skate park upgrades, just so we can another thing to purchase that we're going to vote on that I'll put if you guys want to vote on it. Let me know. Other than that, let's think about a few more things for April, but if I can get Brittany in, that was on her calendar from
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
I
you.
was like, wow, I can't see anything. Sure, that all sounds great.
Brittany from planning.
Oh, yes.
To talk about transportation master plan, or at least just kind of like Kristen, just to do a quick
Okay.
hi, how are you? And then the east side visit if the weather's going to be nice, and then I'll find a few more things to add to that April meeting.
That's gonna be plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's plenty.
There might be a couple things that
We're gonna,
we vote on, but
we'll have time that we could spend on the east side too. The weather's nice and we can get out there.
Mm.
Cause I think there's probably some good things to talk about, both at Willville and at Meadows.
great value. Updates.
Yeah, you wanna go through any announcements?
I would just say the biggest thing, if anybody noticed, we've done a ton of work to the trees in Centennial. We had a massive branch fall during that windstorm. It hit like the center of Centennial. I'm talking the branch was that big. It was scary. So I had a contractor come out just to do an eye look scope of the trees. And he's like, yeah, there's some good pruning to do in here to make it safe. And they got up in the trees and he's like, this is going to take us 3 days, not 1 day, because there are a lot of things that you can't see from the ground. So this whole week they were in Centennial. I'd say go by and look at it. It looks phenomenal. And the trees are going to grow a lot better. They're going to push out. They're not so scary over the road. So that was a huge thing that we were
That's
doing.
great.
And then next week I will be at the Colorado Parks and Recreation Directors Section meeting up in Fraser. It's just like a quick little 1-day thing, but I'm the co-chair this year of the section. I got voted in. Did I tell you guys that?
No,
I got-
congratulations.
I got voted in at the annual meeting last year, at the annual conference last year, to be the co-chair, and then next year I'll be the chair of the directors group for the state. So that'll be fun.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Congrats.
Thank you. So that's cool. I got thrown into the very first meeting of the year. The chair right now is like, I have to go in front of the board tomorrow at 10 o'clock for a budget thing, like last minute. So I was like, oh, so I got the meeting tomorrow, the first meeting of the year. I'm like, Cool, here we go. Hey, everybody. No, it was fun. It was really good. And it's a really fun group. I've never seen in like an industry where everybody gets on and they're just like passionate about what they do. So I just have to say I love my job. Anything more, we're just kind of our crew is cruising through and doing tree mitigation too from all the storm and all the desiccation from the 2 bad dry years. So we're doing the small stuff. We'll contract out all the big stuff. And Rec gave you an update earlier of everything that's going on in recreation right now. So one thing she didn't say is we are going to get an intermediate volleyball team or 2 again this year. So it's like that next level up outside of recreation. So hopefully if we continue on that path, we will start to hit some of the teenagers that are going outside of our community that are playing at a little bit higher level than just recreation. So that's kind of our goal. So the next step might be trying to do basketball with an intermediate level because we have baseball, softball, and volleyball. Maybe basketball. Soccer's a little different because the soccer clubs are so prevalent. Same thing maybe with basketball, but we'll see. So oh, and one more thing. We finally finished the entirety of the West Pond of concrete around Wellville. So it's 100% circled in, and we're going to start on the East Pond with the rest of the capital money whenever Jim has time to help out. And with that, we'll go in the bike fix stations next time we pour concrete.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yep. The bike fix stations will go in next time we get a big enough batch to pull some off. We'll frame them at the same time and do that.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Stuff.
That's awesome. Any updates from the disc golf folks and that will?
I have a call with Avery Jenkins tomorrow.
Oh, sweet.
So I will have an update hopefully on date by the next meeting. Yep.
I saw that it was in there as a like estimated May finish and I was like, oh.
We'll see. It should be. Yep, we have a call tomorrow. After I talk with Jason about the master plan, he said, call me anytime after 9. I said, okay, Avery, I'll give you a call.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything from their part? I did want to actually ask a question in regards to, we were talking about tracking absences. When somebody looked at the bylaws, did we specifically say regularly scheduled meetings? Or are we including work sessions and other such meetings into the count? Because I think we said regular. If we could look at that.
Give me a second. I can pull up the bylaws
Okay.
very quickly here.
Because I think that these work sessions are very important. I think that that's where we get a lot of this brainstorming done, and we've talked about how we're gonna do more work sessions to get these big ideas done, and we're not gonna do 3-hour regular meetings. So, if we did put regular meetings, we will stand by that. But that is also something that if we ever decide to look at the bylaws again, I think that's a very great change to make.
When? I got it.
You do?
I agree.
I was having to get off my screen.
Yeah.
It is, and it's worse when we can't get a quorum and we have things that we need to vote on. You know, Billy had mentioned about the change in the purchasing where he can go out and buy things, and he brings it to us because he wants our opinion. And it's nice to be able to do votes and, you know, other things. I mean, we can't even approve minutes when we don't have a quorum. And then we can get backed up months at a time if we don't get them. So I think it's very important that we try our hardest to always be here. I mean, I know that there are times that things come up. There's vacations. But I think we did say 4, and 4 is quite a few to miss already.
A lot.
Yeah, but I think work sessions are very important. So
You see
I
it?
just want to put it
Just
out there.
right here. Thank you. So, yeah, PROST can be subjected to a vote or removal of their PROST board seat during their term if they're absent for more than 4 regular meetings within a
Okay.
12-month time frame. So not even just a calendar year, within a 12-month time frame.
I would suggest though that since we did just vote those bylaws in, that we would not go prior to that date.
Yep.
I don't think that's really, because it wasn't in effect at the time, so.
That's fair.
But tracking them, I think moving forward is important because I do want it to become a discussion at 4. I want that to be all of a sudden become an agenda item for the next meeting.
Okay.
And I want it to be something that we discuss and actually consider doing, because there probably are other people in the community that can make all the meetings. You know, maybe just don't know yet that there's an opening. There, I did see the post was online, so it is there. But I think it's something that we really stick to our guns on, so.
I think we have to, especially with getting into the master plan and pushing things forward, we have to have that.
It slowed us down in past years too, even just with trying to get stuff done, it was like. ugh.
Yeah.
We had to walk away from meetings before because we.
This is good. Okay, this is good. That sounds good.
And it's my goal to bring more actionable items to this group too. As we move forward, like they're.
Yeah.
How should I put this? Not just with the master plan, but with the master plan, there are gonna be more actionable items for sure. But, you know, I'm gonna do a better job of like, when it comes to budget, bringing that in a lot earlier and working on stuff with you guys.
Good.
Because we just have so much to look forward to, so.
Do we feel like I know you said the position's posted, do we want to actively recruit? I've not been, but do we want to work towards that?
Absolutely.
I haven't been either, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Then we can adjourn, 7:36.